I never thought the worst betrayal of my life would come wrapped in something so simple. So quiet. So ordinary. A white envelope. It arrived on a Tuesday morning that felt no different from the hundreds of lonely mornings I had lived through over the past 3 years. The sky outside my apartment window was pale and tired. My coffee had already gone cold. And the silence inside my home had become so familiar that I barely noticed it anymore. Until I saw it, lying on the floor near my door. At first, I assumed it had slipped under the door sometime during the night. But something about the way it rested there perfectly straight, almost deliberate, made my chest tighten. There was no return address. No stamp. No message. Just my name. Written in handwriting I would recognize anywhere. My sister's handwriting. For a long moment, I simply stared at it. Some wounds don't bleed anymore. They just sit quietly inside you, waiting for something to remind them they still exist. We hadn't spoken in 3 years. Not since the night everything changed. Not since she stood in front of our entire family and calmly told a lie so powerful it erased me from their lives. I remember the warmth of that crowded living room. The smell of food no one was eating. The heavy silence that followed every word she spoke. She said I had betrayed her. That I had tried to take something that was hers. That jealousy had turned me into someone dangerous. And the worst part was not the accusation. It was the way everyone believed her. My mother's shocked expression. My father's disappointment. My relatives avoiding my eyes. That night, I didn't just lose my sister. I lost my place in the world. So when I finally bent down and picked up that envelope, my hands were shaking. Part of me wanted to throw it away without opening it. Pretend it had never come. Because if you ignore the past long enough, sometimes you can almost convince yourself it no longer has power over you. But curiosity is a cruel thing. Especially when it involves someone who once knew every secret you tried to hide. Slowly, I opened it. Inside was a wedding invitation. Thick paper. Golden letters. Elegant design. It looked expensive. Perfect. Untouchable. Just like her. My sister was getting married. And somehow she wanted me there. I laughed when I realized it. Not because it was funny. But because it felt like the kind of joke life tells right before it hurts you again. My sister didn't forgive. She didn't forget. She planned. Everything she ever did had intention behind it. Which meant this invitation was not kindness. It was a move. A carefully calculated step in a game I didn't yet understand. Still, something inside me whispered that I had to go. Not for closure. Not for reconciliation. But for truth. The wedding was held at a luxury seaside resort. The kind of place people choose when they want their happiness to look impressive in photographs. Palm trees swayed gently in the ocean breeze. Crystal glasses reflected the sunlight. Guests laughed a little louder than they needed to. Everything felt beautiful. And completely unreal. The moment I stepped out of the taxi, I felt the shift. Conversations slowed. Eyes turned. No one greeted me. They observed me. Like I was a character from a story they had heard but never fully understood. Then I saw her. Standing near the entrance. Wearing a white dress that probably cost more than everything I owned. She looked exactly the same. Beautiful. Untouchable. Dangerous. For a brief moment, our eyes met. And she smiled. Not warmly. Not apologetically. It was the smile of someone who knows how a story ends while you are still struggling to survive the middle. I should have left. Every instinct inside me told me to turn around and disappear. But I stayed. Because unanswered questions can be heavier than fear. The ceremony itself was breathtaking. Soft music floated through the air. Flowers covered every surface. The sunset painted the sky in shades of gold and fire. People cried. People clapped. People believed they were witnessing something perfect. But something felt wrong. The groom kept looking at me. Not casually. Not with simple curiosity. He stared like he was trying to remember something important or realize something too late. It made my stomach twist. Halfway through the reception, my mother approached me. Her hands were trembling so badly she could barely hold her glass. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. Before I could ask what she meant, the music stopped. My sister stood up and gently tapped her glass. The room fell silent. She began thanking everyone for coming. Her voice was soft, controlled, flawless. Then she said my name. Every head turned toward me. My heart didn't just drop. It shattered. "For years," she said, slowly walking closer, "I carried a secret that almost destroyed this family." People leaned forward, hungry for drama. "She betrayed me," my sister continued. "She tried to ruin my happiness, but today I forgive her." Gasps filled the room. It was happening again. The same lie. The same humiliation. But this time I wasn't powerless. Slowly, I reached into my pocket and took out my phone. "You're right," I said quietly. "I did keep a secret." Her smile froze. The groom stepped forward. "What secret?" he asked. I looked directly into his eyes. "The night before you proposed, she wasn't alone." Silence shattered the celebration. My sister laughed nervously. Called me jealous, desperate, crazy. Until I pressed play. Her voice echoed across the reception hall. Her confession. Her truth. And in seconds everything collapsed. Guests leaving. Families shouting. Dreams breaking in real time. For the first time in her life, my sister wasn't smiling. I walked away before anyone could stop me. The ocean wind hit my face like freedom. Because some betrayals destroy you. But others rebuild you into someone they should have feared from the very beginning. That day, I finally understood. She didn't invite me to celebrate her love. She invited me to test my silence. She just didn't expect me to speak.